Good evening, everybody. I'm Christy Martinez Garcia with your Latino Lubbock update. Now, one of the most dreaded household pests in Texas is the brown recluse spider. And although brown recluse spiders frequently coexist with humans in homes without incident, when bites do occur, they can be serious. And besides being painful, bites sometimes result in secondary infections and can even be life-threatening. And joining me to tell us about her experience is Sarah Rangel, and she's all the way from Morton, Texas. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I know it's a very serious subject that we're talking about, but I really wanted to just ask you about a recent experience that you had with the brown recluse. So tell us about it. And the reason that we're bringing it up, it's that season where you're seeing a lot of spider population, all sorts of bugs. So let's talk about it.
Mother's Day 2017, I woke up with I felt something bite me, rubbed it off, turned on the light, and it was a brown recluse spider. Within a couple of hours, my arm was turning gray. It was hot. So I went to the doctor and got some antibiotics and stuff taken. The next day, I went again to a different facility and had my first surgery the very next day.
Wow.
Less than 24 hours.
And so, you know, some of the things I asked you, what was the environment like? What was happening around you? And you mentioned that you were moving.
Yes, I had just moved into a house, and I had gotten it sprayed, but I had taken boxes from a storage unit and moved them into the house. And, you know, I believe the spider
potentially where that it had been holding and whatnot.
Yes.
And so, you know, some of us have never seen a brown recluse, and I think we might have a picture of what it looks like. And we'll show that here in just a little bit. But the other thing is, you said it was just like a little bite.
I mean, it was just as small as a small freckle. It was a tiny little bite. And it stayed that way. You know, just the skin around it got very hot and a grayish color. And by morning, I was in like severe pain. It was an overwhelming pain. And so they did my first surgery less than 24 hours from being bit. And
so you had your first surgery, and how was
the first surgery went well. I got out of surgery fine, and I spent one night in the hospital, and the doctor decided that I needed to be at a different facility with, you know, in Lubbock,
so they handle something more severe,
because it continued even after he had done surgery. I had whelps were forming, and it continued to spread.
The poison is what continued to spread.
Yes, it continued to spread, and so they put me in an ambulance to Lubbock, and I've had 5 surgeries and a skin graft.
And I think we have a picture of the skin graft that is, you know, and this is just kind of afterwards. We're not even showing some of the photos, and of course these photos are pretty graphic, but you can see how it turned out to be a very serious bite for you. And the swelling, you said that it went all the way up to your arm.
Yes, and as I had been released from the hospital. And the very next day, I had returned because I was in agonizing pain. And I went to my PCP, and he told me, you know, Sarah, you're going to lose your arm. You need to go back to the hospital. And I went, and the ER doctor told me the same thing. We're going to have to amputate your arm below the elbow.
And how did that make you feel?
I just needed time. You know, I was shocked at it because I had just been released from the hospital, and to be told the very next day that I'm going to lose my arm was kind of shocking. But I told them, you know, I need time to process it, to pray about it. And by morning, you know, because the swelling had gone to my armpit, by morning it was to here. By lunch it was to here. And so by, you know, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it was back down to here, and I got to save my arm.
Well, thank God for that. And we appreciate you sharing such a personal story, but we do want to let you know these are some of the things that you should do to control. Of course, one of the first things is hire a professional pest control company and make sure that All the doors are well sealed. Make sure that outdoor lighting is shielded to avoid attracting outdoor insects, avoid unnecessary clutter, and spider webs. Make sure that you get them removed from the exterior and the interior areas. And then, of course, you know, make sure that you vacuum very thoroughly and good sanitation. I think one of the biggest thing is the stored boxes should be tightly taped and shut to eliminate the availability of a nesting site. And then, of course, if you know, you can also use like residual sprays and dusts, as well as ultra low volume or aerosol treatments. Then the other thing, of course, treatment. If you feel like you've gotten a bite, make sure first thing, clean it with soap and water, apply antibiotic cream. If you're bitten on an arm or leg, keep it raised while you're resting, put ice on it, take over-the-counter pain medicine, and watch for more severe symptoms, because as you can see, it really does move quickly. And then, of course, you know, you can see a doctor right away if you notice any of these symptoms. The bite has formed an ulcer or blister, and you're having trouble breathing and whatnot, and the pain just becomes excessive. Now we're going to put all of this on the website, so make sure. Of course, that's the picture of the brown recluse, and they're commonly found in the household. But again, we thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing your story. Make sure that you go onto the Facebook site or as well as the website, and make sure that you pick up this month's issue of Latino Lubbock magazine. We've got lots of great news and information, and a great cover by Joey Martinez, who this is one of the newest murals in Lubbock called Painting the Town. But you can also visit our website at www.latinolubbock.net. With that, everybody, have a great weekend, and thank you so much for sharing your time with us.